Yo, what's up, JPEGs? With the release of Avatar 2, I decided to go back and watch every movie by James Cameron, or as people that know him call him, Jim.
Jim. I do know Jim.
At number 9, we have Piranha 2. This is the obvious choice for the bottom of the list, and any James Cameron ranking that you're going to find will probably be putting this at the bottom, but I will say I don't think it's as bad as its reputation has made it out to be. I think as far as movies about flying killer fish go, this is actually decent. It's dumb, obviously, but it's actually a lot of fun. At number 8, True Lies. This is an incredibly well-made spy movie with a lot of great comedy, a lot of amazing action, amazing set pieces, but it also has a lot of heart and charm to it. I think Arnold and Jamie Lee Curtis put on great performances, and I think that their chemistry on screen is actually surprisingly good. For most other directors, I think this would be a top 2 or top 3 film, but this is Jim we're talking about. At number 7, Terminator 2. I know, why so low? But do you remember what I just said? This is Jim Bob we're talking about. 99% of directors have never made a movie this good. Not even close. Jim Bob takes the concepts from Terminator 1 and just cranks everything up to 11 and just goes full-blown action with it. It's smart, it's funny, it's emotional, and it's just a blast to watch. At number 6, Aliens. I think that James Cameron always does a fantastic job at giving us a diverse set of characters with their own personalities, their own backstories, and their own motivations. And I think that Aliens is the first movie in his filmography that really points to that. This movie did not try to be Alien 1.5, and I think that's why so many people still love that movie today. This movie continues to have so much influence on action and horror movies today. I mean, Army of the Dead was basically just aliens, but zombies that were also aliens, and maybe robots. Speaking of robots, at number 5, we have the Terminator. Where Terminator 2 was more action-oriented, I think that Terminator 1 was more thematically oriented, with a heavier emphasis and focus on atmosphere. When I think of the tech noir genre and the atmosphere that it builds, I think of movies like Alphaville, Blade Runner, and The Terminator. Fun fact, Cameron actually coined the term tech noir in this movie. It's the name of that nightclub that I want to f***ing party at. What's up? What the fuck's up, titties? Even Andrei Tarkovsky liked this movie. Its vision of the future and the relation between man and its destiny is pushing the frontier of cinema as an art. However, he was critical of the brutality and low acting skills. Ha ha ha. Oh man, what a Tarkovsky thing to say. At number 4, The Abyss, aka the overlooked one. Seriously, I barely see or hear anybody talk about this movie, and I think it deserves so much more because this is Jimmy at his deepest and most intellectual. Like I said for Aliens, all the characters here have their own backstories and personalities and motivations, and James just bounces all these characters off each other for the entire movie. There is suspense and humor throughout. The writing is smart and funny and emotional. I'm not going to spoil the movie because if you haven't watched it, I don't want to ruin anything, but if you haven't seen it, you should totally go watch it and watch the special edition. At number 3, Avatar. To be fair, I've always understood the reasons why people hate this movie, which is usually number 1, there's too much CGI. Number 2, it's too long. And number 3, the story is paper thin, or it's Pocahontas in space. First off, I love CGI, especially when it's this well done. It's like a bunch of really beautiful digital paintings. Second, I love long movies. If I'm enjoying the characters and the story and the world, I want movies to go on for 3, 4, 5 hours. I almost always watch the longest version of the movies that I love. Third, as for the story being paper thin, what James Cameron movie isn't? When I see a trailer for a movie about blue cat people fighting mechs that hold giant knives, I'm not expecting my philosophical foundations to be shook. What I'm expecting is an easy to follow story that's an absolute CGI fest. And you know what? That's exactly what we got. This is one of the most streamlined Hollywood sci-fi action movies of all time. And I think that the box office numbers speak to that. Number 2, Avatar: The Way of Water. This follow-up to Avatar proved that Jimmy Neutron is still the sequel guy. Avatar: The Way of Water is another streamlined sci-fi action movie, but this film is better than Avatar 1 in every way. The visuals are better, the story is better, there's more characters to love, there's a lot more emotion, the action is better, the set pieces are better. This is Jim operating at 100%, producing yet another massive blockbuster. There are so many iconic shots and scenes in this movie and characters that I love. I think it's going to stick with me for a very long time. Number one, as most people can guess, is Titanic, a 3-hour romance disaster film that combines history and fiction in order to appeal to one of the largest film-going audiences ever. The sets are amazing, the tonal shift from the first half to the second half is extremely well done, the costumes are amazing, the effects are amazing. It's one of the only roles that DiCaprio has done that I can stand watching. Kate Winslet, Billy Zane, and Kathy Bates all give the performances of their lifetime. My Heart Will Go On is a classic. And it makes me cry at several points. I absolutely love this movie.